Okay, wow. They really decided to go all out with the cuteness on this one. But that's not why I'm here. Sharkry is also a really good free-to-play damage dealer, and one I often use over some SSRs. Today I'll go over what she does and some recommendations for her weapon and keys specifically. Before I go any further, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I'm Shrike. I cover gacha games. The extent to which I cover them will largely depend on whether I think it's worth my time or not. So if you like gacha games, or this game in particular, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Okay, so Sharkry is a sentinel, so a damage dealer, and she does burn damage. Not only that, but she also excels at dealing stability damage, and is surprisingly easy to use. Let's go over her skills real quick. Boiling sound waves deals 3 stability damage right away, so pretty good. Select one enemy target within 8 tiles, applies overburn for 2 turns, and deals burn damage equal to 140% of attack to them. Overburn is, upon gaining this effect at the end of the turn, this unit and all allies within 1 tile receive fixed damage equal to 10% of the attack of the unit that applied this effect, considered a burn debuff. So it kinda deals fire damage in an AoE around the target, which is pretty cool. If the user is under the effects of zoom in, which increases damage dealt by 15% and increases stability damage by 2 points, so you want to always be under zoom in. This stacks up to 2 times and is effective once. If she is under the effect of zoom in, increases stability damage by an additional 1 point, in addition to the 2 points it already does. So for this attack, the stability damage would be 6 if she's under zoom in, which is crazy. And let's skip right over here to her ultimate, because this is what gives her zoom in. Extra command just means that it's an instant, you can still do an attack afterwards. I don't know why they gave it its own skill name. They could have just said it's an instant, but whatever. This just gives her 1 stack of zoom in, and it can stack twice, but only be used once. This is her ultimate, and she starts with it available, so you can use this first turn right before she goes, and then use her boiling sound waves attack on the first turn, because this doesn't have a cost, this only has a cooldown. Same with this one, which also does 3 stability damage. Select one enemy target within 8 tiles, dealing physical damage equal to 150% of attack to them. The unit gains zoom in, so this gives her zoom in as well. So if you use her ultimate and then use this, that's your 2 stacks of zoom in. If the target is inflicted with overburn, applies 2 stacks of flammable. So overburn is what her first skill gives the enemy. Flammable, when taking burn damage, increases stability damage by 2 more points. And the attacker recovers 2 points of stability index. So she even gets some shields. Each time burn damage is taken, 1 stack is consumed. Maximum of 2 stacks, this is considered a burn debuff. So before the attack, and changes the damage type to burn damage. So this does physical damage unless they have overburn. And then it applies flammable and changes the damage type to burn damage. This will be important when we get to her attachments. She's got a passive here that says at the start of the action gains 1 point of confectance index. Your skill points, basically. When overburn is applied to an enemy, gains 1 point of confectance index. Critical rate against targets with overburn is increased by 20%. So she wants enemies to have overburn, and she always wants to be under the effect of zoom in. That's how you're going to get the most of her. If there were a lot more burn units, here are our burn units. She'll work well with all of these. Let's see if these actually give, yeah. This one will give overburn. This one will give overburn. And this attack will give overburn. So it seems like a pretty common, oh, and flammable. They seem like pretty common effects in a burn kit. So she'll work really well with any of the burn characters. Now, something you may not have known, if you go into her neural helix, which for starters you can just upgrade these, but when you get to these ones here, you'll have to make a choice. There's 6 of them, but you can only have 3 active. And they cost a valuable resource, so you don't want to buy them all. But something people may not have known is if you go down here and click this little paper, This has all of her recommended weapons and keys here. Now, down here, reasons for recommendation. It even gives you reasons. Thermal feedback, the one I've got, is the core fixed key for this build. It greatly increases Sharkry's ability to break stability and inflict damage. Target is your heart, this one right here. When using the active skill with boiling sound waves, if a kill is scored, gain 1 stack of zoom in. Can help Sharkry gain stacks of confocal. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's confection index. I'm not sure. Common keys. On the whole, Sharkry wants to increase her damage dealt. Nice. So those two there, target is your heart and thermal feedback, are her recommended ones. Now let's take a look at the other ones before I look at the weapons. See, this Devilish Whisper gains 3 points of confectance index at the start of the battle. This seems very useful, but this one just seems a bit better. When the enemy target within range is affected by Overburn, performs 1 instance of Wise Support, just a support attack, dealing physical damage equal to 80% of attack and 2 points of stability damage to them. This can be triggered up to 3 times per turn. Support attacks are crazy useful, and this one deals stability damage, pretty significant stability damage, and can be triggered up to 3 times per turn. So if you've got a full burn team, they're all putting Overburn on the enemy, she's doing 3 support attacks a turn, dealing 6 points of stability damage just with this, not including any of her other stability damage skills. That's going to be crazy useful. Deadly Allure. At the start of this unit's action, if there is an enemy unit with Overburn on the field, gains Blazing Salt 2 for 1 turn. Increases the attack by 15%. This is considered a burn buff. Okay. When using the active skill Perfect Rising Tone, that's her ultimate. If the target has Overburn, gains Blazing Salt 2 before attack for 2 turns. These are pretty similar, and I'm not really sure which one you'd want to pick out of those two. I'd have to use her more and actually get to that point and test them out. When using the active skill, this is Target is your heart, the second recommended one. When using the active skill, Boiling Sound Waves, if the kill is scored, gain 1 stack of zoom in. Okay, so she'll domino, she'll snowball. More kills, she'll get more zoom ins, which will help her get more kills. The other option is, after attacking a target with Overburn, restores 20% of max HP. This one might be a neat one for the third. It'll help give her some sustain, some self-sustain, but really she wants to deal damage. If you've got a good healer or shielder, you might not need the healing that she can provide, so you might want to go with another one of these. Maybe one of these two. Let's go back to here and look at her recommended weapons. Now, luckily, I got Planeta. This is Tololo's signature weapon. This says when a kill is made or after this unit's extra action ends, which includes her extra command from her ultimate skill, is considered an extra command. Damage dealt by active skills is increased by 4%. So the next attack she deals that turn will deal 4% more damage, stacking up to 5 times. After reaching 5 stacks, gains 2 tiles of additional movement. Okay. Tricked. If the unit has full HP at the start of the action, they gain 1 random attack buff for 1 turn. So as the first turn of the battle, this will happen, and any time her turn starts and she's full health, she'll also get 1 random attack buff, which is just very good. This doesn't apply because she's not Tololo. But that is the recommended weapon for her, aside from her own Sharkry purple weapon. She doesn't have a legendary weapon, an SSR weapon, because she's not an SSR, so this is the highest tier for her Sharkry weapon. Planeta, the reason for recommending, says killing enemies and extra actions can stack damage buffs, which neatly dovetails with Sharkry's extra action skill, like in the Limelight. Obtain methods can be obtained through rolling or trading in redundant pieces in the trading post. This one increases the damage of her next attack after spending 3 confectance index, is a perfect match for In the Limelight, which expends 3 confectance index. In the Limelight, that's not the name of her ultimate. Which attack is that? Perfect Rising Tone. Highlight Moment. What is In the Limelight? She doesn't have an attack called In the Limelight. I'm guessing that's just Highlight Moment. Some weird error in translation there. That's probably what that is. Because this takes 3 Confectants Index, and that's what it's referring to. So that is her recommended keys, as they're called. This is where you purchase them, and then you come down here to actually equip them, to install them. So that is her recommended keys and her recommended weapon. But there's more. If we come over here in supply missions and go to targeted study, she uses an assault rifle. So you can go submachine gun, rifle and blade, handgun, but we want assault rifle and shotgun. These are different stages. What I love about this type of supply mission is a lot of games you have a bunch of options of what you could get in this. But in this game, you just pick which drop you want. I have electric because I was working on Moist Nugget. But for her, when dealing burn damage, the damage increased by 20%, you'd want fire. You'd want the fire attachments. Now, I don't actually have any energy left, so I can't run it. But this is where you'd want to go. And that is what you'd want to select to gain your attachments. And if you're not sure what the attachments are, you can go right here next to weapons. You don't unlock it right away. I forget what level you unlock it at, but you'll unlock it as you play. Not for Nemesis, you silly goose. For Sharkry. You go into her weapon, under attachments, and there's 4 here. The muzzle, the sight, the grip, and that's the sight. Oh, this is the underbarrel. I just have whatever I could get on her. So I've got 2 lightning ones and what is that one? Corrosion? I don't even know. But you can do quick equip and it selects automatically, and you can try them on, see what you like best, and when you find one that you like, you can calibrate it, which is not the same thing as calibrating your weapon. This consumes 8 low-level attachments, and you just hit calibrate, and it just does it once and gives you an RNG stat boosts. Now this one actually rolled crit rate, which I didn't have the first time I calibrated this. So I'm going to actually keep this one. And it increased its attack and defense. So that's actually a really good roll for me. I think I had HP and defense last time. So yeah, gain a random attribute boost. And you do it once, and that's it. If you do it again, it replaces it. You can choose to keep that, but it doesn't refund you the resources you've expended. So yeah, as you can see, the idea with her is you want to use Highlight Moment to precede your attack, and then use either Perfect Rising Tone or Boiling Sound Waves, depending on what you want to do. This benefits from you having zoom in. This one gives you an extra stack of zoom in. Both are very good. So like I said, she's very easy to use. I was basically doing all of this before I even read her kit. Just clicking buttons. You notice that this is a free attack, or a free skill, so you use it before your attack, and the attack does more damage. It's very simple, but you can get even more out of it by putting the right attachments on her gun, getting her a good gun, for starters, then putting more attachments on it, the correct attachments on it, and then pairing her with good burn units, and using her skills in the right order. And she can practically carry you through the entire game. I'm still using her, and I'm in Chapter 5. She's part of my main team. my main rotation. I've got about 6 or 7 characters that I rotate through. She's one of my main ones. There might be more to her build as we unlock more things, but I think I've basically unlocked it all. There are some combat simulations I haven't unlocked: combat exercise, peak value assessment, military simulation, but I doubt they'll make a huge impact on how she is played or built. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna fly. Thanks for watching. Bye.